from Nicky Katzberg's Volvo, but it's Girolami who takes the lead, or is it Mehdi Banani? He's going to rub wheels. That's not what you want going into 3 laps of the Nordschleife. Girolami has the inside line. Behind him is the second of the Volvo, so that was a good start from Ted Björk. There's the European Touring Car Cup field. So Volvo first and third, Girolami and Björk. Between them is Banani, and here comes Tom Chilton inside Esteban Guerreri. And Guerreri will have the inside line at the Dunlop hairpin, and they bounce and make contact. And that leaves the door open right behind Willoughby Thiago Montero's Honda. And
to the lead, but he'll have to take that position back. So could this be the battle for the lead with Luca Ghiotto getting ever closer? He's going past. He's going past. He's taken the lead. Luca Ghiotto goes from third to first on the restart. Absolutely incredible for the Italian driver who has 2 more tours to win his home race.
Yeah, was perfect, was just perfect. Ghiotto that he used the mistake of Leclerc to have the chance at the second chicane. Ghiotto on the Italian circuit is making it, because believe me, he has the chance of one of the best victory of the season. Race 1 at home in Monza.
This is incredible. Leclerc now trying the run. It looked like he got the run done, but he didn't pick the breaking point. That gave De Vries the chance. On board, De Vries is coming back at Ghiotto. Ghiotto is winless this season. The only man in the top 8 of the championship to not register a victory. He's so close, but it could be any one of these 3. And a big moment on the exit there. It's going to give an opportunity to De Vries, who wants that position back. He's going to try and go round the outside, but remember how it could compromise his exit. Leclerc hanging back. Ghiotto, he's got his elbows out. He's desperate to claim the lead. He's running off the road, and Leclerc will get a mega slipstream.
Yeah, but he missed a bit the line. Look!
Here comes De Vries trying to take the lead away as they go down the pit straight to start the final lap here in Monza. This is frankly unbelievable. The battle with the lead. De Vries on the inside, Ghiotto on the outside. Who breaks latest?
It's not easy at all to break. He's so inside at that corner. De Vries, he made it perfect in the line.
Ghiotto's gone off and made a mistake. Ghiotto bails out, and will he just keep his foot to the floor? Matsushita as well. Cars all over the road. Any contact?
Whoa!
There is contact. Charles Leclerc hits the barrier, and he's surely going to have to retire on the final lap of the race. Extraordinary scenes. Leclerc sent to the barrier.
Focus there.
Oh, there's a puncher for Nick De Vries. There's a puncher at the very end. Incredible scenes. Contact between second and third. Ghiotto, who went off the road, and the big winner is Nobuharu Matsushita, who got himself up to third position on a frenetic restart. The order is changing all of the time. Fuoco, oh, they're all off. They're both off. The guys who collided finding themselves off the road as they try to continue. Ghiotto skipped the first chicane, so this might not yet be the end of the race with the final order. Antonio Fuoco has moved up to second position, and an incredible final lap of the race. Luca Ghiotto has the lead. It's an Italian one too, and I'm not entirely sure how, because over the line it was Ghiotto, De Vries and Leclerc. Over the line for the end of the race, it's going to be Ghiotto, Fuoco and Matsushita. The top 3 changing. Unbelievable. Luca Ghiotto will argue it with the stewards later on, but he's got one corner to go in the most extraordinary race we've seen this season at the very end. Luca Ghiotto can see the checkered flag, and he comes across the line to win in Monza in a frankly unbelievable race.
Of the FIA World Endurance Championship of the awesome Spa-Francorchamps. A stunning sunny Saturday. Drivers gathering on the grid, a mix of smiles and nervous anticipation. Big crowd on hand to watch sports car racing at its finest around one of the world's greatest tracks.
Mr. Tom Christensen waving the green flag on the grid.
Porsche number 1 leading the field round. Andre Lotterer on pole, surrounded by Toyota, second, third and fourth on the grid. The number 9 low downforce Le Mans spec car outbraking itself dramatically at the first corner. It would rejoin in the middle of the... But what about Porsche versus Toyota? The Porsche started to come back into it as the high track temperatures of the early afternoon faded with cloud cover. The number 2 car moving up into second place. Clearly, as far as Porsche was concerned, the battle was not over. This would be a close one all the way to the line as the sun set and dusk approached. drummer for Rebellion heading into the final hour. Their timing beacon coming loose, and that allowed the 38 Jackie Chan DC Racing car into a podium spot. Number 2, Porsche making contact with one of the Alpines. They would stop for a change of nose, costing them more track time after an earlier slow puncture. Fortunes seem to be favouring Toyota and especially the number 8 car. Leading GT Am almost from start to finish, the 98 Aston Martin that Pedro Lamy had put on pole. The GTE Pro Class dominated by Ferrari, who set their order. Whoever was in front at the final pit stop was due to stay in front. And G-Drive, predominantly the force to be reckoned with in LMP2, they would head with a 4th different team running their cars to the checkered flag with the lead. And the race decided in the final lap. Number 8 just getting to the line ahead of the sister car number 7.
Okay, well done, Fred, well done. P1, good job. We need to go to Alpha 11.
A second win for the number 8 Toyota, a 1-2 result for Toyota, their first victory at Spa since 2015, and in the GTE Pro Class, a Ferrari 1-2 for AF Corsa, 71 ahead of 51. Celebrations for the race winners, more questions than answers perhaps as we lead up to the next one, the big race, the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Are Ferrari too dominant? Will they be pegged back? And what about Toyota versus Porsche? It looks set to be a grandstand race at the next round of the FIA World Endurance Championship, the 24 Hours of Le Mans.
11 minutes en fin de course, il pourrait éventuellement avoir une voiture un peu plus performante et revenir et se rapprocher. On a vu le numéro 9 ici, c'est Geoffrey Denardat du Sébastien Lobrassi, le pilote français, lui aussi. Magnifique course pour l'instant, tout simplement. Denardat, il est le premier de nos pilotes. Non, c'est Asclo qui est 7ème, le premier de nos pilotes français, premier représentant. Alors que pour l'instant, eh bien, il a fait un excellent restart, Camich, puisqu'il est en train de creuser un petit peu
et on voit qu'il est en train de creuser un petit peu l'écart, et du coup Rovera n'a pas complètement l'aspiration, et du coup s'il est plus dans ce phénomène là, ça va être compliqué de suivre Camich. Et
on voit Zamparelli qui carrément a essayé de fermer, alors que là ça a freiné trop tard pour une des voitures. Je n'ai pas eu le temps de voir.
Je crois que c'est Philippe Morin.
Attention quand il va revenir sur la piste. Ah voilà, il est ressorti avec 20 km/h de moins, il va se faire déboîter par tout le monde.
Ça va être compliqué sur la ligne droite.
Et Oliphant qui en profite, qui passe 7ème. Asclo qui en profite, magnifique prestation aussi de Asclo qui remonte 6ème pour l'instant. Quelle course du pilote français.
Asclo qui dépasse, ça va être limite au freinage.
Valentin Asclo qui fait une magnifique course. Valentin Asclo qui était parti 14ème et il est actuellement 6ème. C'est une superbe prestation que le pilote français nous ouvre ici. Le numéro 9 c'est Geoffrey Denardat. Numéro 9, Geoffrey Denardat qui du coup est passé 9ème.
On voit Geoffrey, je pense qu'il est un peu en difficulté par rapport au début de course là maintenant. Sous l'attaque de Vincent Beltoise.
Ça peut venir de quoi? Ça peut venir des pressions?
Des pressions.
On joue à combien en pression? À 100 grammes, 200 grammes, 50?
Entre 100 150 grammes, ce qui font une grosse différence sur le comportement de la voiture. Donc voilà, s'ils sont partis de façon assez agressive, c'est difficile sur les derniers tours.
Et Rovera, il est carrément revenu dans les roues. Oui. Alessio Rovera, il est carrément revenu dans les roues de Dan Camich. Et on le voit ici, regardez, il y a énormément de carrossage sur les voitures. Vous voyez les roues à l'avant comme elles sont inclinées, énormément de carrossage. Ça c'est pour faire travailler le mieux le pneu sur la voiture.
Faire travailler le mieux le pneu et la faire tenir la voiture en virage. Dans les virages rapides, si le pneu a beaucoup de carrossage, du coup la voiture est mieux tenue et on a le potentiel grip qui est amélioré. Donc il faut trouver le bon compromis entre l'arrière et l'avant. C'est
une sortie très très large pour Guven, le pilote de la voiture numéro 53. C'est sorti très large, limite du bac à sable. Regardez ici, ce n'est jamais fini. 9 minutes, on est à 9 minutes de l'arrivée.
On voit maintenant Morin qui attaque sur Asclo.
Oui, attention, pas de contact, on est vraiment à cette vitesse-là, faut surtout pas de contact. Attention, une slow zone. Les pilotes.
Perret got a great launch, though.
This is for the championship. It is all on the line. Johnny O sprints to the front, but Pat Long, can he defend from Alvaro Perret?
Down into the Andretti hairpin. Long staying tight to the inside, giving Perret no opportunity there. O'Connell gets a couple more car lengths on the exit. Cooper hounding Perret right now. Cooper going to dive to the inside of Perret. Perret has to defend there. That is exactly what Long wants to see happen.
He needed that. He's now got 3 to 4 car lengths over Alvaro. Could be game over.
Oh, well, you expect that on this last lap.
O'Connell's dropped a wheel. He goes to the inside. They touch. Pat Long's got to be careful. Where is Perret? Perret's got to run. Perret is got by Pat Long.
Oh, and Long almost collected by Heitkotter there. Unbelievable, Cal.
Can you believe this turn of events here on the final lap of the season?
Johnny O, Bob, oh, and a big off there at the exit of 6.
Cindric is involved. There's other cars involved. And Johnny O'Connell's mistake, Pat Long had to go for it, and suddenly Johnny came back at him, turns him a little bit, and Alvaro Perret, if he can just maintain this pace and get to the checkered flag, he will be your champion.
Unbelievable machinations on this final lap, picking up the white flag and the green flag at the same time. O'Connell out of the last turn. He's got to drive. Cadillac will get its 3rd straight in the hands of the 4-time champion Johnny O'Connell, but in second, McLaren and Alvaro Perret, your champions, Cal. Wow. Unbelievable. And Pat Long, the team, John Wright and that team, and Pat himself must be gutted.
Look at this. Here comes Pat Long. He is not a happy boy. He's going to go up there. He is after Johnny O'Connell. There could be some retaliation right here. He is not going to be happy with Johnny O.
No, Pat's too classy to go in and hit him, but he certainly is going to come up alongside and gesture and let his displeasure be known. Wow, unbelievable stuff.
We saw the dust fly here right through this corner. That had to have been Johnny O dropping wheels, and Pat Long had a run on him, and he really had to go for it. And then it just got really tight down into the brakes over turn 5. There was some argy-bargy there, and suddenly Pat Long didn't have the speed to defend from Alvaro Perret with his momentum through turn 5.
Boy, and what a turn. Had we stayed under caution, Long is champion. They make the decision to go back to green, and everything gets turned on its ear. Perret ends up with the championship, and I'll tell you, obviously for Pat, he's going to be absolutely gutted, but having a green flag run to the end and having that happen, boy, that's how you want to end a championship here. Just crazy, crazy stuff. Manio running a little bit wide, losing the momentum.
Ran a little bit wide. Pat Long had a run on him, and you see the gap back there. He tries to get down to the A.